Tracking UFO encounters just got so much better as I had the fortunate opportunity to speak to Patrick Belinkett, who has made his own UFO tracker, which is completely open source and is completely based off of information that you don't even realise you're applying. So this site is called UAP Sighting Tracker. Now on the surface, you probably think that it looks like one of those NASA maps that they give you, but this is completely different, and I'll tell you why this is completely different. Because without you needing to go and sign up to this website, what you do is when you search, I've seen a UFO, or I've seen a UAP, or UAP sighting near me, or something like this, right? It will be submitted to this website without you even needing to sign up to anything. And your location will be pinged on this map so that me, or anyone else that uses this site, will be able to see. So for example, over in Victor, wherever that is, okay, there's been one person who's had some kind of UFO sighting. They've punched that into Google and that's come up on this map. Now, I know that sounds very confusing, and I was hella confused. So I reached out to Patrick personally to say, I need to understand how this works. Please explain it to me. And he was more than willing to explain the whole situation to me. So here is what he had to say, and here is him talking us through this website.
So I wondered if you could buy these keywords that no one else is buying. No advertiser or marketer in their right mind is going to buy I want to buy heroin because there's no money involved in that, or I saw a UFO or whatever, because no one's going to make money off of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started doing that 5 years ago and ran these experiments out of my own pocket. I spent 5 figures on this stuff when I was supposed to be saving for a honeymoon. That was interesting conversation. Yeah, so I ran campaigns to people who told Google they were suicidal, wanted to buy heroin, wanted to join ISIS, wanted to shoot the president, wanted to shoot up their school or workplace, or people in prison, people in Antarctica, Scientologists, migrants, people who were victims of sexual abuse, and on and on. And I just ran these and then I'd shut them off and see. So some of these experiments led to partnerships with nonprofits. That's been really amazing and have really helped people. That's incredible. Some of these experiments have gone nowhere and I just see if they work and then shut them off. Anyway, last summer I heard about this app Enigma, which is right by, I'm in New York, Long Island. Enigma's offices are in New York City. I was blown away by that app, but you familiar with Enigma, that app?
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's called enigma.io, I think. And people can submit their sightings on the app, and
Okay.
it's like a social media of sightings, but there's a superior way to gather UFO sightings using digital technology, and I knew that right away. So Enigma's weakness is they're relying on people going to the app and submitting their experience and doing all this stuff. But you lose so many people when you are asking them to do this, honestly, because just knowing this in digital marketing, when you ask anyone to do anything, sign up for anything, you're going to lose a considerable percentage of those people. So a better method is just to capture people at the very entry point of this so-called marketing funnel. It's just when they type, capture them, capture their search. That's it. Right. So you get a bigger volume of searches compared to people going to Enigma who might not know of it. Fill out a form. I saw this, consent to privacy stuff, upload all this crap.
Yeah. Because I know that for a fact that would lose me. If I was going to submit something, I'm why do I have to hand over my personal information when I'm just submitting something or photos or whatever, so.
Exactly. So you're going to lose, I'm not going to guess to say how many, but it's definitely probably half of people who just don't have the time, worried about privacy stuff, don't even know Enigma exists. When the method that I'm going to tell you about right here, no one has to submit anything. No one has to give their personal information. None of that's going on. The fact that they just searched, I saw a UAP, it populates on the map. So I'll explain to you how it works here.
Yeah.
In Google Ads, basically, I have a campaign for 10,000 cities in the US. And I'll explain in a second why I don't have it worldwide, but we'll get to that. But it started with the US. It's 10,000 cities, the most populated cities in the US. And I buy the keywords. There's four keywords I buy in every campaign. I saw a UAP, I saw a UFO, report a UAP, report a UFO. When people search this stuff, I run an ad on Google and it's asking for their submission in the ad. But I don't care if people click or not. It's just a mechanism to give Google Ads the green light that I'm doing this properly and I'm
Yeah.
Google Ads because otherwise I can't do it if I'm not running an ad. Anyway, it doesn't matter if people click. I get submissions all the time of people who click the ad and like talk about what they saw. I'm not really interested in that. All I care about is the fact that they searched and an ad is showing. So in any of these 10,000 cities, whenever anybody's searching, the ad shows up, their data goes to my Google Ads account. I connected this thing called Google Data Studio, which is called Google Looker now, and that's connected to my website. So basically, the way this is all shaken out is when people search, if they're in any of these cities, in like Brooklyn, New York, I saw a UAP. It goes to Google Ads, goes right to Google Looker, goes right to the website. Essentially, you have a real-time heat map of people searching. So
That's
that's what we
insane.
have now. And that's where we're at. So the downside to this is I pay for this all myself, meaning I pay Google every time someone clicks an ad. Uh, you
Right.
know, it's pay-per-click advertising. I pay Google like $1.80 or whatever, but it adds up in the US because so many people are searching.
Yeah, for sure.
And not everyone clicks an ad, but when they do, um, I pay Google. So I'm paying Google like 500 to 1,000 a month to run this.
Wow.
Um, that's fine, but that's right. The reason it's not all the whole globe because that would be brutally
Expensive.
expensive. There's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
people searching this stuff. It would probably be like 10K, $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Pull that off because so many people are going to be searching worldwide. But what we have right now is just this kind of beta test that, to show how it works. And the app I'm really excited about, which comes out in October, which is going to have a lot of functionality, be really intuitive, and I think that'll be pretty amazing. But right now, you know, maybe I could share my screen and walk you
Yeah, that'd
through.
be great.
Here's the map. So this is since I launched it last summer,
Yeah.
uh, which I didn't mention. I launched it last summer and I ran it for 6 weeks and I didn't really know what I was going to do with this. And I'm like spending money and I'm like, what are we doing here? So I ran it for 6 weeks last summer and then I paused it. Um, it got some good attention and I had some conversations with people in the UAP space about it. And then I had a lot of things going on. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I paused it, but I recently resumed it and now I'm dedicated to like doing this for real now. So long story short, that's why it says it starts August 19th,
Yeah.
but there's a gap in the data. If you looked at like November 2023, you're not going to see any data because I did pause it. But
Right, got you.
uh, essentially, this is from day one until now. Every single person who searched on Google and populated to the map. So that's where we're at. This is probably the best way
Wow.
to look at it. So if you zoom in, this is basically just Google Data Studio, Google Looker, this map pulled right from that into a website using iframe. That's it. So
This
we're
is
limited here by
insane.
the technology of Google Looker, which is I can't like drill down into like the street of where somebody searched. You know what I mean? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
that there. But let's hover over here. You can just expand and you'll see the searches. So, okay, Villa Park. I don't even know where that is or what that is. I've never heard of that city ever, but 6 people searched all time that they saw on their phones or on desktop or tablet or whatever. They searched that they saw, told Google they saw a UFO, UAP, and wanted to
Wow.
report one. So, um, okay, the app is going to have a lot of different functionalities where there's going to be a slider bar here and people can slide and see the populations changing through the days in real time and see like almost the movements of UAPs. The app is going to have a cool functionality where there's going to be an overlay on the map of nuclear sites and military sites,
Wow.
which is going to be cool. So you
Yeah.
could see like where all the nuclear sites are and how UAP sightings happen in relation to that. I think that'll be interesting. You could kind of see these very bizarre, uh, almost like lines
Yeah.
that are happening. This didn't happen the same day. This is maybe it did. I don't know, but that's almost like you could see the path of a sighting, which is pretty amazing to me. But there's such limited data now, but over time, like a year in from here is, I think there'll be some pretty amazing findings from this. But it's still so new, but this is just like kind of a test case. So anyway, up here, this is more for like real data people, but you could dive in by all these different segments. Like you could see the searches, the actual things that people typed into Google from day one
See, this
by
is where
people.
I got confused when I came on
Yeah.
because I was like, what is the searches by hour of, I'm like, why is the searches relevant? But now it makes total sense that obviously the search is what's giving you the data
Yep.
and you're just
It's
plucking that
giving
and
the data.
it's just
And
driving it into this website.
yeah, so
Wow.
these charts in here are really for like people who really want to dive into like a specific sighting or they want to
Yeah.
investigate. All right, in Villa Park, there was a sighting on July 26th. Let's look at the hour.
Wow.
Okay, we know what happened at 3 p.m. Let's
Oh my
just
god, this is
so
amazing.
so you can all right, this is kind of clunky to like navigate here. But what I did here is you can right click any data set and it's free and you can export it to like Excel. And if you're proficient in Excel, you could just export this. This is all time. You could filter to just Villa Park. You could see the hours that people were searching, match it up with what you try to investigate. If you know, hey, there was a sighting, like 6 sightings, people are telling me in Villa Park at 3 p.m. Just export this, look at Villa Park, filter, look at the hours, match it up, and you could kind of like triangulate. Look, it's just the extent is your imagination with this stuff. So I just gave it to people to just work with in Excel.
That's amazing.
All right,
You've even
and
got the age and the gender along the top as
yeah,
well.
you could do
That's
the age. I
wow.
don't know why you know, if you care by
About who
who's
undetermined.
searching by locations and men and women. I don't know how useful this is. I threw it in there. Age, okay,
Someone will
age
find a
could
use
be,
for it.
yeah, undetermined, a little frustrating, but Google withholds data sometimes, so I don't have it. But okay, not as helpful as city and date. But these four are, I think, combined with a little Excel wizardry on the downloader's behalf, could find some really insightful things. Um, the app's going to have a lot more functionality, like I said, with overlays and a lot more data. I do plan to expand this to worldwide. We're going to use this map. I don't know anything about development. These app guys know about it, but it's going to be a really interactive map that's really beautiful and a lot more palatable than this what I have here from Google Looker. And that's where we're at. This is kind of just a beta test, and I think this is, unless I'm wrong, I don't know of any method of data gathering digitally for people capture who want to, yeah, for to find UAP sightings than this by volume. You
No.
know, I don't know any other way that's superior.
The only time I've ever seen maps like this is when NASA release them or
Yeah,
government arms release it. So it's like,
yeah,
and even then you've not got a true depiction of true, like you've just got to take NASA's word for it kind of thing. Whereas with
exactly.
this,
Who's to know what how they're filtering the data or
exactly,
obfuscating it? This is
er,
kind of taking it out of their hands
yeah,
and giving it to the public. And a couple things I want to address, and I get a lot of comments about this on Reddit.
yeah,
People were super supportive on Reddit, and that was incredible. And they gave me some amazing feedback. And there were a couple trolls. I love trolls. That was good too. I got trolled out. Um, so,
of course you did.
uh,
There's always a one.
yeah, but a few trolls popping around. But so one of the biggest feedbacks I got was this data needs to be normalized. I totally agree with that. What that means is right now this kind of functions as a population map. Like, of course, in
Yeah,
Vegas, it's going to be a ton of searches because a shit ton of people live in Vegas. But on the app, we're going to have all the data normalized by population. So what we really care about is not a huge dot in Vegas. We want to find a little weird city that no one has ever heard of.
yeah.
Uh, Sorry to call out this weird town that I was just making fun of. But like yeah, if there's a shit ton of people searching for this little weird town,
Yeah.
we want to know about that. We don't really care that a ton of people are searching in Vegas. Of course they would. So the dot will essentially be a much larger in this little town because it's normalized by data. That's sounds like a little thing, but it'll make a big difference. The mobile experience is going to be fixed. And wanted to address two other things that people complain about, and they're like, okay, so real quick. Um, One of the criticisms I got was, okay, what if somebody goes on Google and they search like a million times just to troll you? Like, I saw a UAP and they're in this weird town, and then the circle's huge, you know?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah.
Uh, that actually can't happen because Google Ads has a built-in like fail-safe. When people do that, they just shut the ads down for them, so they can't be trolled like that.
Wow.
Similarly, someone can't sit there and click my ad a million times and make me pay $1 million because Google shuts them down too. So that Google's handling all that. And the big thing, last thing I wanted to say is all of this is respecting people's privacy. So um, there's no personal identifiers of anyone passing through. You can't see somebody's their name or their IP address or their phone number or any kind of nothing like that because Google withholds that from marketers like me. So I'm only getting the filtered, hashed information
Mm.
from Google, and no one's privacy is being on the line. Uh, it's very respectful of that. You can't distill somebody's identity from a search. There's nothing like that. So I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no,
I think,
I think
yeah,
that's something that's important for a lot of people. Is
cool.
it's all about privacy these days, especially. But like, so what would happen if like I had a good question then and I've just lost it. It's gone, but it will come back to me. But obviously,
Yeah.
this is absolutely amazing to like just look at it and to think that, like I say, it's just, oh, that was the question. How quickly after someone searches that thing would it be implemented into your site? Would it be instantaneous?
I think it's within the hour. I'm not 100% on that.
Wow.
Um, so the app, I think they're going to use API. I know, so this is like out of my wheelhouse, API stuff and pulling data from different, that's like a development thing, but they're using an API system that's going to pull this like as fast as possible.
Right.
Um, so that's going to be covered. One last thing I wanted to mention about a criticism of this that I had to answer. Uh, there's something called negative keywords, so it's a little technical, but if people go to Google and they're like, I want to see cool videos of UAP sightings on YouTube. Obviously, I don't want them on the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking at cool videos and stuff. Nevertheless, my keyword should trigger the ad for that. But there's a little tool. It's kind of hidden in Google Ads called negative keywords, and you make all that crappy searches negative, so the ads never show. If people are
Right.
searching for cool videos and stuff like that, it's all negatived out. It never populates on the map. I don't want people searching for sightings in 2024. Like they're
Yeah.
looking for cool videos and that's not populating the map. So the data is like really pristine, and that's also going on.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, so I think it has a ton of potential. There's nothing like it. I'm
No.
just trying to. This is meant, I'm paying out of my own pocket, and I don't mind. I think I've been always fascinated by cosmology, UFOs and UAPs to a lesser extent, but I'm always in wonder of the cosmos and cosmology since I was a kid. So this is such a cool thing to give to people in ufology who would really dive into this, and I hope they can make use of it. And I think a year in with this, the data is going to be super robust, especially
Yeah.
when it against globally. I think it'll be a really powerful tool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like, just looking at it, like I say, I saw it on Reddit, tapped on it, just wondering what it was about, and then I just was completely fascinated by what I was seeing, and I was like, I didn't understand it, and for most things, I would just like click off or move on, but I wanted to really understand it because, like I say, there's nothing else like this, and the fact that you're developing it on the website, but also creating an app to make it just so much easier, just
Yeah,
shows
that's really
the raw
going to be the game.
potential of this and how far you know, how invested you are in it, which is one thing,
Yeah,
but how far it can really go, which is, you know, it's gonna stand the test of time.
yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be cool. A cool next 12 months, especially when this app comes out. And the data that comes in, I have no idea which way this is going to go or where the data is going to come up next. It's exciting for me to see. Like this whole area here is weird. Uh, just weird findings like this. Like, why are there no sightings ever
Yeah,
here?
that's
I
it.
am running campaigns here. There's nothing going on. This is like the Midwest mountain ranges and stuff like that. But there's nothing going on over here. Very curious. It's little things like that. But yeah, it's this is what we have here.
Honestly, it's this is exciting. This is exciting
Cool.
because there's gonna be people as well who are just gonna find this so handy. Like if they want, you know, for example, let's look at Miami at the start of this year. I don't know if you remember all that stuff that kicked off with Miami Mall and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, that probably would be quite a very trending kind of topic.
yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, and that will probably be this would be a great site to go to find potential information about it, who saw it, and you almost
Exactly.
verify people's testimonies when they come out about these things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of people that came forward and were like, "I was there," when they
Yeah,
may not have been, and then this would, you know, almost validate um,
exactly.
that
Exactly. That's the
information.
power of keeping this running.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that the data can coincide with events as they unfold. So if there's any controversy about whether something was a UAP or some other thing going on, if you if you just look at the map and you see a huge spike that day in sightings, then that might preclude further investigation, you know?
Exactly.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah,
it's
be exciting.
this is exciting. This is exciting, and
Cool.
I know there's going to be so many people that are going to just love this kind of thing as well. So I think you're onto a winner here with this.
Cool.
But
And if any
well,
questions else about how it works or uh, anything like that.
I think you've been quite comprehensive. To be fair, like I say, it was
Oh,
like not understanding the searches, but understanding now that the search, like, I mean, I kind of read it on the little biopsy on the side,
yeah.
but now that I fully understand it, it makes so much sense, and it's such a just almost robust system to have because
It's just
people are
active
actually
searching
adding to this
populace.
without realizing that they're actually adding to this, which is fascinating because,
Yeah,
you know, even if they didn't know that this existed, that they're still plotted on the map that they've seen something.
exactly. The vast majority of people searching are just trying to let somebody know, even if this entity is not human, they're trying to just tell it to Google.
Yeah,
And I know that because the vast majority of people who search this don't click my ad, you know? So they're just like telling Google, who knows what they do from there? I don't know. But the act of searching is called an impression,
yeah,
and the impression populates the map. So I thought for a second about calling this like the impression project and all the some play on that word because this is all built by impressions, that terminology in Google Ads, the act of the search. So that's what we have here, and I'm really excited to do that. I have a GoFundMe that, I'm not trying to make money off this. I'm trying to recoup my costs eventually,
mm,
but I do have a GoFundMe linked here that would help me pay for the app, which is, sizable spend of five figures that I'm fronting just because I believe in this. But and to expand worldwide, the cost. I have the GoFundMe goal of 30,000, I think, but yeah, it's just worth keeping a link on there just in case there's
yeah,
any.
for sure. I mean, like, to be fair, if people are using it, then, you know,
Yeah,
donations are it's
yeah,
like not expected, but it's welcome kind of thing.
yeah. It helps improve the data, and that's really it. So, um, any other questions about how it works or
No, I
anything
mean, like,
like
I
that?
think it's just really fascinating. Like I say, I think
Cool.
I've said that 1,000 times, but it just
Yeah, yeah,
is. It really is. So what's your like take on all this? Like, what made you think to like UFOs?
It's just like I said, my lifelong fascination with cosmology.
Yeah,
And I ran this. I ran a bunch of experiments in the past. This actually came out of this map idea. Didn't start here. I ran this experiment 4 years ago uh, during COVID when we weren't really sure what was going on with different countries and their caseload and everything like that. There was some obfuscation as far as like leaders that were telling the rest of the world about what was going on. Anyway, I read this article about Tanzania and how they were like they had a huge issue there, but no, the rest of the world really didn't know what was going on, and they were kind of not being truthful about how serious their COVID death rates were and all this stuff. I thought Google Ads could be used to like just buy the word anosmia in Tanzania, which anosmia is and was a leading indicator of COVID infection. That means like you can't smell. So I bought this keyword and I saw that, all these people in Tanzania were telling Google they couldn't smell, so they probably all had COVID. The Tanzanian government said there were no COVID cases, but this showed there were a lot.
yeah,
So I put this on a map and I showed where people were physically located and how many there were who told Google they had anosmia in Tanzania. And I thought that was a cool idea. And I explored this Google Looker data studio and I saw, wow, you could have like a real-time map of what people are searching. And then I applied it last summer after I saw the Enigma app, I think. And I ran it. And the reason I wanted to turn it back on was like a random night. My wife and I were driving in the forest, like these backwood areas in the middle of the night, like 1 in the morning, and in upstate New York. And there was this giant moon that was the craziest moon I've ever seen. It looked like those like AI images of like Jupiter,
yeah,
if Jupiter was the size of the moon or something like that. It was a massive yellow moon, and it gave us like this eerie feeling. And we were talking about UAPs, and we were talking about opening a restaurant that we've wanted to open for a long time, maybe UAP themed. And we were kind of just spitballing ideas and joking around a little bit while we were driving. And I think all of that feeling of wonder that it gave me that night driving in the woods again and seeing the moon and talking about the restaurant. And I was like, I came back to this idea. I'm like, why did I shut that off? That was a cool idea. Um, so I revisited it, and when I posted on Reddit, the feedback was so great that I was like, okay, I need to like take this seriously, and I have to do this legit and make an app because everyone's on their phone and you can't
yeah,
really
yeah.
look at the phone easily. So yeah, I'm gonna go all in this, and I just want to give people who study this. There's an awful lot of people who do ufology and sightings and everything like the best reference tool possible for sightings. So that's where we're at. And I don't claim to be I'm not like a ufology guy. I know like the basics of,
Yeah.
I know I love Bob Lazar's story. I know Robert Bigelow's story and George Knapp. And I know all those guys and the story of Area S4 and all that, but I'm not like a storied ufology guy, but I am fascinated by it and mostly the cosmology aspect of things, the study of space. So yeah,
No, I love that. I love that, and like again, just to like plumb that into your work, and to like just not have anything to profit from it, just to give people a tool that they
yeah,
can just use is like just so amazing.
yeah.
Um, honestly
I
though,
hope it can help.
I can't thank you enough for coming on and explaining it to me,
Fully.
and I can't wait to pass the knowledge on, and
Yeah,
hopefully generate a bit of interest and a bit of uptake for this for you, so you can really people can just get the data that they need or want, or
yeah.
people that truly research this stuff, like you say, just to have that for them. I think it's just fantastic.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Some kind
honestly,
words.
it is
And
cool. It is cool.
if you have any questions, we could talk by email. And if you need any further info, um, Yeah, that was a great conversation. I was wondering if you were recording that. If you were, that was okay because that was like I think I explained that very well.
You did.
So
I did record it just
I could.
on the chance that you would probably you would explain it so much better than I ever could. So, I mean, if you didn't mind, but obviously
Yeah,
that's
good.
where I think it's just awesome. I truly
Cool.
just it really is. And now what's important to note is Patrick has stated that there will be by October basically an app that you can access on your phone just like this, which is going to be able even easier to track UFOs and UAPs. And for someone like me, this is genuinely a game changer because if, for example, the Miami Mall incident was to kick off again, and we see a huge spike in where's Miami down in this direction, I think somewhere I don't know, I don't know my USA technology. Let's say LA has a has a sighting, right? We can actually ping exact locations as to where that sighting took place, and if there's a hot spot, we can really look into it. And what's also fantastic about this is Patrick runs this completely himself. He runs it, he funds it, and he also updates it and keeps it running all by his ones. And I think that's actually so much easier than having a government-led website where misinformation can be put out, tweaks and stuff can be put out. It's all finicky. And he also pays for this himself. And there is a GoFundMe if you want to support this website. So if you're enjoying using this resource, consider donating. The running costs are $500 to $1,000 per month. All right. And the thing is the more donations that this site can get, the bigger Patrick can make this. We can go global. But you've got to think at the US at the minute, if he's paying $500 to $1,000 per month alone to run this website, if we go global with this, he's probably going to need to pay about 10 grand for this right now. So, any little bit can help. So if you guys do want to support it, there's obviously going to be a link to this site down in the description so you can go and check it out for yourselves. But I hope that you guys are more informed about how this site works now. I certainly am, and I can't wait to get using it for my videos and to kind of track UFO encounters. But what do you guys think? Is this going to be something useful for you guys? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed. Cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.